Hello everyone, Russell Wright from NetworkEmpire.com, and we have a very special treat for you guys today. This is an absolutely loaded webinar. It was overbooked. I actually was a little surprised at how I knew it was a major issue, bolt-on silos or extant sites, building a silo with extant sites, but I did not expect almost double the capacity. There will be a replay for members only, or we're not exactly sure what the status of this is. But just want to let you know, you probably want to take notes just in case, because the status of what we're doing with this is uncertain. Members will make sure absolutely we get access to this. Sue's been hard at work preparing this presentation. I'm going to be riding shotgun here and answering questions. So those of you who hopefully, if you've never used GoToWebinar before, you can see there is an area where you can ask questions, and I am manning the help desk there. So go ahead and I'll try to answer the things as quickly as I can, because Sue will be giving fairly complex instructions. It's not that hard once you understand what's going on, but she doesn't need to be answering the questions, and so I'll be passing those on to her that I can't answer. And it's really, really great that everyone can make it. I'm really pleased. I know it's a lot to take out of time on a busy, busy day, but I also know that this is extreme value. So with no further ado, I'll just kind of step out of the way. And thank you so much, Sue, for going all the hard work to prepare this. And let's just jump right in.
Thank you, Russell. So this is a website that I'm going to leave up, bolton.thewebuntangled.com, so that everybody can see it. And just so you know, I'm starting out my site. I created a few pages on this site. I've got 2 pages. One's an About Us page, and one's Purple Widgets. And then I've got, if we go back to the home page, I've got 2 blog posts in here. Now, obviously, if you've got an extant site, it's probably going to be a little bit bigger than that, but it gives you the idea of what's going on without it getting out of hand, without my spending all night putting in pages. So let me just show you what I've done back here. This was, when I started last night, this was a clean, fresh install. And I've made just a couple of changes. Down here in Settings, under Permalinks, I've changed the permalinks so that they're /category/postname. And if you have an extant site and you're going to make that change, WordPress will automatically update your .htaccess for you, and if it can't, if it's not writable, it'll give you a little message down here, and it will give you the code that you need to insert in your .htaccess file so that it will redirect all of the pages from the old links to the new links, so you won't have to worry about trying to figure out how to do that. So that's number one, and then the other change that I made was I installed the DWS Silo Builder. And this is the latest and greatest version of the plugin. It's 1.2. We don't have that up for folks to download yet because there's a minor bug in it, and you'll see it here in a few minutes. But we'll have that squared away in a few days, and then we'll have it up for download. And the last change I made was I installed a theme. This is not the default theme. So let me just back up into I used Mini-Me, but it's exactly the same process. Lite is exactly the same process as it would be in Pro. It's just that the navigation's a little bit simpler to see. So I have here the blueprint that I created on a previous webinar. And as you can see, let me just pull up the blueprint thing here and make my screen a little bit larger so folks can see it. And as you can see, it's got quite a number of silo pages, but only 2 silos actually have pages underneath it. So these are the 2 silos that I'm actually ready to publish right now. So that's going to be the only thing that I'm going to publish. So here in Domain Web Studio, I came over here to mark for publishing. And it timed me out. Hang on a second.
Did you keep your membership fee up to date?
Probably not. Clearly not.
Yeah, I blew you out there, sorry.
was painted just a few minutes ago.
Yeah. There we go.
Oh my. All right, let me try Pro and see if I can see it over there. All right, so I came here, and you can see the whole blueprint here. And what I've done is I've just marked these guys to go up. So in other words, if I wanted this silo to also go up, I could just click that, and I could say Approve for Publishing, and then you'd see the little world icon come up here. All right, so now I've got 3 silos that are going to go up: financial help, consumer credit, consumer debt, as well as all of the pages underneath these silos. So, all right. Then I'm just going to grab my XML, and I'm going to save it. And it's told me that it's downloaded. And then I'm going to come back over here to my Domain Web Studio Silo Builder, and let's just take a tour around Silo Builder for a minute.
So obviously the Silo Builder has to be installed for this method to work.
Right. This is the plugin. This is
and they can do it with the previous version before, until they get this one out?
Yeah, it works very similarly. There's just a couple of enhancements that I want to show you what's going to be coming.
You meant categories, not pages, right?
Pardon me?
You said pages.
Pages for?
Never mind. Continue.
Okay. All right. So here, I'm getting feedback. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So here is a place where you can I'll show you exactly what this is later, but on the widgets where you have the inserts, you can have a header up above it. So like if you want to say more information or something like that above the menus, you can put that in there. Under styles, we've got, you can change the link color, you can change the size of the silo link size to be larger or smaller so that it fits in better with your theme, and you can change the line spacing so that we were having some problems where it was showing up really big, and it was like in some themes, it's totally theme dependent. Some themes it would show up really big and it would kind of write over the top of itself. So this is a place where it'll just stick in a little CSS block of code and help it fit in with your theme better. So last but not least is the silo importer. So I'm just thinking if I want to show you guys anything else before I go ahead and import this. Let me just go to all posts for a second and show you around this. You can see here I've got 2 posts. They're both in one category called Purple Widgets, and I've got 2 pages, and they're just pages at the root. There's no kind of hierarchy to those pages. All right, so I'm going to come in here into Silo Importer, and all right, so I'm going to set it so that it goes ahead and publishes everything. Your other option is to set it to draft. When you set it to draft, the top pages go into draft mode, the bottom pages go ahead and publish, because you have to be able to see the top pages in order to be able to see the bottom pages. So just know that that's, I think that's one of the quirks I'm going to have fixed along with this other little bug that I'll show you here in a second. And then the silo shortcode to the content body, I'm going to leave that on, and I'll show it to you, show you what you can do, and then you'll know what happens when it's off. All right, so then you browse for your, oops, gorgeous pictures. Browse for your export, which is going to be this thing, and hit the open button. Now there's some advanced silo settings, and this is the stuff that's really new in this particular version. You've got the option here for how you want to have your silos referenced, whether you want to have them referenced by primary keyword or by article headline. And I realized way too late, because I'd done this whole thing in Light, the only thing I've got are keywords. So it doesn't matter whether or not I put article headlines here, because I don't actually have content. If you have content, then you have an article headline. Your other choice is a page title. But since all I've got is just the skeleton, all three of these are going to default to exactly the same thing. So I can't show you that, but that's the cool change that's in this release. And so what happens here is this is going to be the title tag, your meta title tag, and this obviously is your slug. Some people write really long titles to their articles, and so when the slug was coming in as either the page title or the article headline, it was making for really, really long URLs, and that's just not cool. I mean, they're very creative titles, really good, sticky, pull guys in titles, but by the time you get 2 or 3 of those in a row in your URL string when you're down at the bottom of your website, it just made for really long, ugly URLs. So you've got the option to shorten that, or to make it either the article headline, the page title, or just the keyword. I would tend to go with the keyword most of the time. And then in your title tag, you can either make it the article headline or the page title. So if you're outsourcing it and they don't actually put in a page title, you can just make it the article headline, and that'll look good. All right, so doesn't look like there were too many. Oh yeah, we just answered Chan's question. All right, good. So I'm going to hit the import silo XML file, and it's going to go do its work. Boom, it was that fast. And now if I come back here and do a refresh on this, let me just go home for a second, then you'll see what it's done is we've got our silos in here, and this is the drop-down menu. There is the bug that I got to have fixed before I release this. And we've got the pages that we had before. We had the About Us page, and we had the Purple Widgets page. Now it has created for us a home page, and it's defaulted the blog so that home is the new default landing page for the blog, and it's added all of the other pages. And if we'd gone down a third level, it would have added posts. All right, so let's just go look at this from the back end. Let's start with pages, and let me show you I wonder if I can break this into 2. So you can see here I've got consumer debt, and I've got like 5 or 6 pages underneath consumer debt, and over here I've got consumer debt, and I've got the same 6 pages under consumer debt. And here I've got consumer credit counseling, and here I've got consumer credit counseling and the 3 pages underneath that. And then let's look at the posts for a second. Come back here, go to posts, and you can see that your posts are still there. Now the difference is that the posts were under this category Purple Widgets, and Purple Widgets obviously wasn't part of my blueprint. If Purple Widgets had been part of my blueprint, that silo would not have imported correctly, because it would have said, hey, well, you already have a Purple Widgets silo, and I don't know what to do with it. I don't want to overwrite your stuff. So it's going to make a Purple Widgets -1 silo, and throw your blueprint underneath there, so that you've got it and you can decide what it is you want to do with it. But probably what you really want to do is you want to look at your blog ahead of time and go, okay, this category already exists, and I've got it here in my blueprint that I want to pull it in, so I'm going to adjust this. So adjust your categories before you do your import, and it'll be a whole lot smoother. Okay, so
lots of questions.
All right. Let's start with some questions.
All right. I'm going to just go slowly here, so bear with me. I'm going to address Sandra's question, and I do not really understand it, so I'm going to read it as is. Okay. She wants to share a difficulty she came across when uploading keywords using the custom form.
Okay.
When she was on Mac, she must save it as Windows comma separated, not just comma separated value, otherwise it won't work. That's her claim.
I think she's talking about uploading keywords into Domain Web Studio.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's an entirely different relationship. Okay, that's why I didn't understand it.
That's good to know. All right, well.
Okay, Sandra, we need to deal with that. That's, in fact,
we'll put that in the FAQs. That's good to know.
I want to earmark her as a Mac user. Okay, then Sean is asking, out of curiosity, will there be an option where we can customize the slug title?
So in Domain Web Studio, let's come back here, in the Pro version of Domain Web Studio, where you can actually enter your content. See here under Site Content, I can come here, and when I actually write my content, I can, let me just see if I can write one of these. Hang on. I have to go through the whole assign process. But if I came here and actually wrote my content, then in here I can create those other two fields that we were looking at. I can create the meta title, and I can create the headline for the article. And so that's where you get the option over here to choose what it is you're doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. Hopefully that if he responds with that.
Yeah.
Okay. If the title, this is from Guy, if the title is too long
cool.
and the keyword is too short, can you modify it later?
I haven't tried that to be sure, to like say for sure yes. I believe that they are no longer tied internally the way they were, but I didn't speak with the programmer with this particular change.
Yeah, got it.
Okay.
We definitely need to check that out.
Yep.
So let me just see. Oh, and then Craig asks, so we don't want the categories also in the drop-down menu?
That's correct. So here's the fix for that I've got right at the moment.
The answer is no, you do not want them, Craig.
No, you don't want them. And possibly what I would do anyway, depends on the size of the site. Like I'm all for automation, right? So I don't really want to have to go back and fix something. But
no.
But some themes are going to have their own menus, and they would have already created their menus. So let's just come in here for a second. You'll see that the WPU silo actually creates a menu, and that's where it drops all of the pages in. So the little tweak that I have to make is to just have it remove these second layer pages. But the other thing that you can do, if you have, it's going to go ahead and load all of your root pages in there. And if you don't want that, then you can create a custom menu. Just going to call it main menu. And then you come down here, you come to your pages, I view them all, and you can pick which pages you want in here. And the cool thing about doing this is you can also sort the menu the way you want it. So like some people want purple widgets, they want like the about us at the very end. Maybe purple widgets is like, now it's kind of like the thing that's toward the bottom, and you want your new silos right up front. So you can drag those around and save them however you want. You save your menu, and then you come over here and you tell your theme, don't use the WPU menu, use the main menu. Now some themes
do not have custom menus. This must be a custom menu enabled theme to do that.
The new version of WordPress has custom themes. Yes, by default.
Okay, that's default. Okay, so that's changed.
Yeah, it's totally whether or not your theme recognizes the custom menus. But if your theme doesn't recognize the custom menu, there are plugins out there that will make it.
Okay.
So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So
all right, next question.
All right, I'm just going to show what happens here. You see this menu right here. Yeah. We're going to do a refresh, and it should. Did I save that? Wait.
And you have to change. You have to save the menus as well.
I did.
Okay.
And it should start with home and then consumer dot. Oh, it's up here at the top.
Yeah.
Oh, check that. Hmm. Hmm. I didn't actually try that before. That's totally theme.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, totally theme dependent. So
That needs a theme mod if you want to get it in the.
yeah, I just have to dig around a little bit and find out where it's pulling this theme from and tell it that
Yeah.
it's kind of, it's not the simplest. This was like the first theme in the list of themes, and it's
What theme is this? Just so we know, just out of curiosity.
this is, see, this has got a whole theme setting thing, custom community,
Yeah.
and so you come
Okay,
in.
never heard of that.
No, but it's a popular one in the freebies on WordPress. So it's
Okay.
got its whole little, like, it's very configurable. So I'm sure somewhere in this list of options is where I would set this particular menu here, or get rid of it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. There's another question. When building our silos, are there a minimum or maximum number of categories we can place under a particular widget?
No, there's no limit. There might be a WordPress limit, but it's going to be pretty big.
But we haven't found it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good question, though, Sean.
Yeah.
You might want to go ahead and import like 90,000 and see if you break it. Let's see. Sandra's got one more thing. She's confused about something. She's not sure if
categories
you
in
heard
your
me right.
drop-down menu. So what we don't want.
Let me read the whole thing. Let me read.
Yeah.
Let me read the entire thing for everyone. Okay, there's an audience. You do not want your categories in your drop-down menus. That's the question. And as she understood the silo in your menu table. I'm sorry. The silo is your menu tabs, and your categories are in the drop-down. Did she misunderstand that?
So what you want is you want your silos. And if you have categories, so for example, I can come back here to my menu. And if you want to add your categories in there because you had them pre-existing and you don't have static pages, you can absolutely do that. We can come here to Purple Widgets and we can add that to the menu too. There we go, added to the menu. But what you don't want to have happen is you don't want this drop-down boogie. You don't want the category level in Domain Web Studio to show up on every single page on your website because that bleeds your theme. So you want it just a single layer.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Mike. Mike's got a large niche authority website that gets 6,000 to 6,500 Google search referrals per day. Very high quality content. Excellent. Google doesn't seem to have a very good understanding of my site at all, due in large part to the fact that I never organized my content into silos. Got about 4,000 pages on my site with a permalink structure of /postname.
Ew. Okay.
Not good, you're right. Doesn't create silos, right. Concerned about changing it because it will mess up my rankings and my inbound links. Okay, so that's what,
Okay.
I mean, if Google doesn't have a good understanding and you don't have good rankings, then changing it isn't going to be a huge deal. And when you change it, I mean, I always back up everything before I make major changes like that anyway. But when you change it, it's going to put in that that code into the .htaccess. So your links should follow to your new pages. You shouldn't lose any of your page rank. However, one of the reasons we developed the whole bolt-on silo concept was so that you don't have to disturb your existing site and you can start to create silos in on the side. So you could either take your content and move it into new pages underneath the silo, and then one by one do a redirect off of those pages. I mean, you've got 6,000 pages. That's going to be, 6,000 searches. What is it, 4,000 pages? That's a lot of pages. It's a lot of pages to do by hand. So,
yeah, I would do a
301 redirect.
System-wide.
Yeah, system-wide 301 redirect. It's going to slow down the response time on your site a little bit, but it shouldn't be too bad. And
Is the site a transaction site Mike? In other words, are there sales being made and is there a transaction? Otherwise, I would just leave it and start over or bolt on some new ones. So the bolt-on, here's a question. So the bolt-on blog is a blog builder. Blog is a blog builder which goes into your site, and the static info is in Pages while the SEO work is done in siloed posts.
So, yeah, the idea behind this, what I was finding as I was working with blogs over the course of the last couple of years is that static pages rank easier than category pages do, and they hold the ranking longer. And Google tends to treat them more like HTML pages than blog posts, which are more designed to be like a newspaper. So what we were doing was creating a silo structure of static pages in your blog to be able to hold that page rank, and then underneath each one of those categories, underneath each one of those static pages, you would have, I realized something else I need to show you. You'd have posts, and then those posts are treated more like news articles. So you've got the best of both worlds. You've got the static side of things, and you've got the newspaper side of things. You've got the blog side of things. So
dynamic, though.
Yeah. So as the plugin creates pages, it creates categories that mirror those pages. So as you're writing your blog post, this is designed so that you write your pages, right, and you publish your pages. And if I'm going to do this as a blog, I normally just do the silo pages, and then on my website, I do the entire tree structure. So then here, it would give me all of my categories, and I would go ahead, it would give me the upper level categories, right? It would give me like consumer debt, consumer credit counseling, and I would come in under there and write all my articles, and then those articles would point back over to my website. If I'm on my website, it gives me the full structure, and typically websites aren't that dynamic, so I don't actually come in here and write a bunch of posts. Or if I write a post, it's an evergreen post that just stays on my site. So in that way, you can use the same blueprint that you're doing in Domain Web Studio for two different sites. One's going to have your website content, and the other one that I put from my blog, I just put it up before I put the content in.
You want to clarify that again? That was something you probably don't want to slide over.
Okay.
You can use the blueprint in DWS for two things. Describe what those are again.
So I can use this blueprint once for my blog and once for my website. And what I do is, when I have got the structure like this, and before I put the content in it, I'll come in here and I'll decide exactly which parts of it. Come back over here to website blueprint. I'll decide which parts of it I want to have as static pages on my blog. So in other words, this is the bottom level on my website, so I don't really need that on my blog. I'm just going to take these upper level pages, these silo landing pages, and put those on my blog. If I had supporting article levels down here, then I would probably bring both of these in as static pages on my blog, because then the topics that I'm covering are a lot broader. And I would have a bunch of blog posts under each one of these categories. So I do that. I set my blog up exactly the way that we've set this blog up. And then I would come back and create. And when I set up a blog as a blog, I come back down here to settings and to reading, and I'll turn it back to being my latest post on the front page. Okay. I set up a static page for when it's a website, typically.
Yep.
Right,
sure.
Because you want your blog role on a blog, and
elsewhere, yeah.
Right, and when you've got your money site or your site, then you want a static page that you can.
And guys and gals, we do cover that in other. This is a lot of information to cover, so just know that a lot of the topics that Sue's talking about today branch out into other fairly long and in-depth webinars, but very, very powerful ones that you need to take into consideration. So. Another question from Dan is, so the categories are set up as pages, not posts, even when they don't have supporting articles.
That's right. the top two levels, the way that our blog plugin works is the silo pages and the category pages are going to come across as pages and as categories. So if you want to set up your categories but you want to just have posts and not pages, you could export the entire thing and then just delete the static pages and you'd have your whole structure there ready to go.
Okay. All right, good. For a blog, you would install a new WordPress directory and a blog directory?
Actually,
you can do it a couple different ways, correct?
Yeah, I prefer it in a subdomain rather than a subdirectory.
Yeah, I just dealt with this with a client on subdirectories. A total disaster. In fact, I'm thinking about making it a standard to tell students not to do it. It was so bad.
I tell you Go ahead.
I'm just saying there's things that break too. There's certain plugins that you have to modify when you're using subfolders off of a main domain. I mean, I ran into some horrible things. I mean, for example, Yoast sitemap, you would have to modify the PHP. It won't work at all. And those are minor things, but they're pretty major if you're not a developer.
Huh.
So there's things like that. Yoast will not work in a subdirectory.
Okay.
But that's just one of many things that I came across. Go ahead, Sue.
Yeah, my biggest, the biggest thorn in my side when I put a blog underneath in a folder rather than a subdomain is that it's more difficult for me to see the traffic that's coming to my site from the blog, like the analytics between the two sites. If I use the same analytics code, then gets it quite muddled, and I got to set up a bunch of filters in order to be able to see that clearly. And it's easier to just stick in a subdomain.
Okay. Yeah. So don't get me started on that one because I've just recently been through hell with it with a client. Okay. So there's that, and let's just see what else we got. A new WordPress installation. I mean, well, Craig, again, it depends on the theme that you're using. I've seen both Sue and myself have used themes where you can have a blog separately, but the whole infrastructure is still a blog. In fact, Network Empire is sitting on where we have a /blog, where on Optimized Press it's set up the blog role is in there. You can use and this confuses people a lot, especially clients that are maybe beginner or intermediate that you might have. When you say the word blog, I think WordPress, you know, and but it's not quite like that. You know, WordPress installation. So the bottom line is that some sites and themes do allow to set up a blog role. I've got one blog set up where the blog is a blog role, so my frequency of publish is there, but then I have all the pages structure set up like a real site. So it depends 100%, Craig, on what theme you're going to choose and how you diagram it out.
Let me clarify something too. When you set your front page to be a static page, then you select which page obviously it is that you want to have be your front page. Now you can wrap a blog into the same installation by specifying where your post page is going to be.
Precisely.
And I would not ever do that again. Like, never.
Yeah, because there's a lot of reasons, like Sue's saying, why not to do that. Because it's, first of all, you don't really have the theme mirroring effectiveness that you have set up in the way that she just described. That's why she does 2 exports in DWS, one in the blog and one on the main site, depending upon how she's setting up. Also, a static page, if your home page, that's going to be theme dependent, right? So make sure you pick a theme that actually has the interface and the style sheet that makes sense to what you're trying to accomplish. Like, really think this stuff through. Yeah,
the reason, my big reason why I make those 2 separate blog installs is because otherwise you're stuck with all of the same theme on both your website and your blog, and you have to install all the plugins that you want for both into one install, and sometimes the plugins don't play well together, and that's just that's how Network Empire is set up. It's all one blog, and I would just never ever have I said that enough yet? Never do that again.
Yeah. Yes, Guy, don't do .com/blog. I mean, we prefer not to. That's what we were discussing.
Yeah.
Do blog.yoursite.com.
Right.
Okay, so let's go ahead and look. Chan is asking, do you guys use the blog to support the actual website? Well, yeah, Chan, please join the members area. If you're not, you probably are going to love it. Okay, and then go in there to the webinar that says how to set up, geez, Mike. How to, like the whole screen fills up with Mike's go in there, Chan, and look and see. We have a giant thing. It's not trivial. It's called theme mirroring. You can go to themesinGlossary.com and look up theme mirroring. But go to watch that webinar. Sue and I cover really well how that works. Okay, and that's in the private area under networkempire.com/members-area, members goodies. Okay. Dan is asking. He already asked that question, didn't he?
Yeah, you probably lost your place with Mike's question.
Yeah, because Mike's got such a huge thing, he just shoved everybody else all out of the way. Okay, so let's just go ahead and deal with Greg first.
Yeah.
Does the Silo plugin incorporate widgets on pages, like given an example in using free plugin? Oh yeah, Greg's talking about the DIY course. You and I talked about this before the webinar. It's quite different, Greg. Would you actually, Sue, you answer it. How would you answer that?
So his question, as he's talking about the DIY stuff, one of the plugins in DIY is the widgets on pages.
Yeah.
And this Silo plugin does not incorporate widgets on pages.
No.
It's just this one plugin. Well, widgets on pages is a cool plugin, but this plugin is just standalone. It's the only thing that you need to be able to create.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, thank goodness, in the sense that we designed this plugin to make sure, Greg, that you don't need all that stuff. And that course, which those of you who are maybe not members, is available at Silo Blog Empire. And that's just a do-it-yourself, because we wanted to be able to help people in the Warrior Forum and other places around the world who can't really afford, Domain Web Studio and the rest. So please understand that Sue and I do support the use of that when you're on a serious budget, but it's just not the same, as what we developed. And I'm not just trying to sell you something. I'm saying that we designed this for a reason, because who wants to glue together a whole bunch of different plugins that ultimately need to be supported? So that's why we designed this. So we'll move on.
So Greg's other question is, how do you deal with long page category names? And that's just right here. Like, that's why we built in this these options, so that when you're doing your import, you don't have to deal with the article headlines. You can move everything to be just the keywords, and that'll shorten up your URL strings. And this will change it on both the categories.
Can you repeat that, please?
Yeah.
Someone's asked you.
Oh yeah, you're cutting in and out, or maybe I am. So right here, if you change this all to be your primary keyword, then actually over here in the slug, you change that to be your primary keyword, which it is by default, then your URL strings are going to be really short. You can still have the page titles or the article headlines as the actual metadata, but your slugs will be short. And so then when it creates both the categories here as well as the pages, those slugs are going to be short.
And you can always change the call to action or the sexy headline in the menu item if you want, right? For the menu bars.
The menu is always going to be that's the WordPress default. Is that the menu is going to be
the menu will always be the
it's going to be the title on your
right. But my point is you can edit that without changing the slug, just for the users, for the visitor optimization.
Yep.
So you guys know that, right? So if you have all your slugs, which is really cool, you have your slugs, your default setup, and let's say, I'm trying to give you an example here that I just did. Whoops, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. You can change, the default, so you can add the word, like, for example, if your keyword is, I don't know, relationship problems, you could add the word crazy relationship problems in the WordPress theme menu, change the default, and then it'll appear on the side menu for people, which is highly, you can add the word crazy or weird to a sentence and you get about a 3 to 5% higher click-through rate. But then you haven't changed any of your metadata, your slugs, your default, and the rest. Hopefully you guys know that you can't.
I'm betting that that's what this actually changes. It says title, but I'm betting that it's changing the menu title. This is the first time I've installed this particular plugin last night, and I didn't have the full export. I didn't have actual content.
We do need to check that, and we'll get back to you on that. This is a new version, and we're really excited about it, so we're still working out the kinks. I want to say, Stuart is saying, I don't know why you're saying, oh no, Stuart. I don't get that. It's the best plugin ever created besides ours.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just if you try to install a blog in a funky way.
No, what I'm saying, Stuart, is that if you set up a blog in a subfolder, what ends up happening is it's yourdomain.com/forward/blog. If the WordPress installation is in a subfolder, which I've seen recently, which is a total disaster for Yoast. So what I'm saying is just set your frickin' domains up either on a subdomain, which acts as a root domain, or on a root domain of your domain name. And then it's just because what's happening with Yoast and its interaction with the video SEO sitemap, which is freaking awesome, is that the XML sitemap does a call and puts the file in a directory, and then the plugin itself calls the XML file in a specific way. It does not play nice with /blog when the WordPress installation is in that in the folder. I found this out the hard way on a client. And so all I'm saying is that when you install the master WordPress blog and you want to use a sitemap, remember a sitemap generates an XML page feed that's got to talk to the directory, and it just doesn't work unless you modify the PHP in Yoast to talk to the subdomain. And to make matters worse, every time that you upgrade that Yoast plugin version and you're in a subdomain, it changes, so you have to modify it again. So just all I'm saying, Stuart, is keep your blog in its subdomain or a primary folder. Okay, guys, just don't. It's more trouble than it's worth to put it in a / folder. Okay. Looks like we have another question for you, Sue. Can we jump into that?
Sure.
Okay. Sandra is asking, understanding silo / category. Debt, for example, debt repayment will show up as a subcategory of consumer debt. Okay. And the URL of the post under debt repayment will show consumer debt / debt repayment / article title question mark. Is that correct?
Yep. I mean, you can change when you go to add a post. Let me just add a new post here. And let's say that I want to put it here, consumer debt / debt removal, and I'm going to make this post the longest title. Something like that.
You're funny.
All right, so then this becomes horrendously long, but you can change that to just the longest title. But you have to change it on the fly, right?
Yeah. Correct.
All right, so then are we back down to Mike?
Yeah, this is okay. So I'm going to make sure that everybody understands this because this isn't even mildly interesting. The problem is he's saying that it's not so much that he doesn't get traffic, but that he wants to better theme the site. Of course, we get that, Mike. And he wants.
This is Mike with the 4,000 pages.
Yeah, from previously.
Yeah.
He's saying he makes a six-figure income from it, which he doesn't want to obviously risk
losing.
Oh
yes, absolutely.
He doesn't do direct sales yet, okay, because he's going to be launching his own products and services in the near future. But right now he's an eBay, Amazon affiliate. 6 figures with eBay and Amazon.
Okay.
That's extraordinary.
Yeah.
So where do I start with? Obviously, he's going for high range product prices
for
margins. So where do I start with the process of siloing my content? And is changing URLs, permalinks URLs, the only option? I personally, Sue, feel like that's a consulting question. But I guess you can throw out some ideas.
I would actually bolt on a blog to the side of that. I would not even futz with your existing income, but
no, exactly.
So WordPress or Google is going to treat a subdomain pretty much the same as it treats a subfolder, and so probably what I would do is the way that I've created bolton.thewebuntangled.com, I would create a bunch of subdomains, each with what their silo is going to be. And then you just come into your menu, and when you edit your menu, Pages, themes, appearance. Here we go. When you edit your menu here, you can put in whatever link you want to put in, right? You can categories, pages. I can put in a custom link here. So I can put in like newsite.mysite.com and I can label it as green widgets. And I would bolt on my silos that way rather than changing the internal structure of your site at all. So that's just like the safest way to go.
It really, and I just also have to say, there's so many things in play in your situation, Mike, that I know you probably got on this call because you wanted clarification on the technical infrastructure. But I would also say that neither Sue nor myself know enough about your case to even say that that's what we would do ultimately, because it really depends on your income. And when you start creating your own products that are relevant, you've got a different set of issues that you have to deal with when you're an affiliate on other products. And it's not only about theming technically, it's about theming conceptually based on the market pain. And that's why we provide Painkiller, our Painkiller software and other things. So I just want to create a caveat, which is we know nothing about your case, and just make sure that because you're dealing with such a large amount of money, that you're not holding us to, a simple approach to silo bolt-on, because we might, under a consulting environment, advise something entirely different. Okay. So other than that, let's go ahead and I don't know. Craig's still trying to find it. Craig, please go to the help desk or hit me up on Skype. My Skype address is for members only. If you hit me up on Skype, folks, and you're not a paid ThemeZoom member, I will not accept. Craig, I know you are, so ThemeZoom is my Skype address, and I'll try to help you with that link if Sue doesn't drop it to you right now. I'll find the webinar is really, really good, and I've got it earmarked. I just don't have it with me, like, off the hip here. This version of Silo Builder is a big improvement. Okay, Eric, are you just giving us a compliment? I think. Thanks, Eric. I think you're just making us a compliment. Okay. Silo Builder removes the need for widgets on. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Eric, just to be clear, I'm going to emphasize this again. The Do-It-Yourself Silo Builder course was for beginners and intermediates who do not purchase Domain Web Studio. Because remember, I need you guys all to be really clear. The DWS Silo Builder that we've been building, you must have Domain Web Studio to work with.
Yeah, you got to take an export out of Domain Web Studio.
If you do not have Domain Web Studio, if you do not have Domain Web Studio, don't be thinking you can use this thing, because you can't. Go back to the do-it-yourself method. That's why we launched that course. Okay, so that you would, if you're not a Domain Web Studio user or member, I mean, really, this webinar is kind of useless for you if you do not have Domain Web Studio. So that's really what we're emphasizing. Okay. All right. So let me just make sure that
Sandra wanted me to clarify when we suggest making our silos separate subdomains or subfolders. And I just want to say that Mike's talking about a lot of income, and he's talking about a huge site, and I don't want to disturb that. Like, I would hate to be responsible for him losing a six-figure income. So if you're worried about the disruption that coming down here and changing your settings is going to cause you under permalinks, if you're worried that like putting that in is going to disrupt rankings and traffic that's valuable to you, then you can go ahead and do that bolt-on silo the other way. He's talking about such a huge site anyway that he's going to have a lot of pages under each silo.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Sandra, it depends. Like, I do all kinds of Sue's general rule is don't network your blogs together on the WR2 areas, so we have rules for that. We have rules everywhere. So I just want for you guys to know that we're talking specifically in a customized case to Mike, and there's times to use a bolt-on with blog.subdomain, and there's times not to. If it's not broken, don't fix it, and 6 figures is not broken.
Right.
Okay. That's just the bottom line. I don't care what your SEO skills are.
Right.
There's just certain things you don't touch. You move on and create another empire.
Yeah.
or you create an empire that supports it, and that's what we're talking to. Remember, is it really worth? Here's the question that Mike is really asking us. Here's what Sue and I call the pain behind the question behind the question. Okay, do I mess with a six-figure infrastructure for the beauty and elegance of a technical hierarchy that's more accurate, maybe gets you higher rankings overall, when you're already making a ton of money? The answer to that question is no. It depends, but generally speaking, no.
Yeah, Mike's looking to take it from where he's at, up a whole nother level, which he can definitely do with a silo structure. And so it's just like, how do you do that gently so that you don't disrupt that income? And
you use subdomains.
Yeah.
I would also say that I don't have 100% the same results on subdomains that I do on full domains. I just want to put that as a caveat, so I understand his conundrum. But everybody's got a different opinion about that, and you have to really set it up right. So I would suggest Mike maybe maybe connecting with Sue for a consultation, although she has almost zero time. I know I do as well, but it's just too much to do here. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Sue, how much time do we have? Do you want to wrap it up?
We're good. We got about another 10 minutes.
Okay, so in layman's terms, when doing the blog post, make it a subdomain. So my blogs would be posted on blog.mysitename.com instead of mysite.com/blog. Therefore, it's a prefix to say, yeah, Chan, I really just don't recommend blog installs in a / folder. Yeah, that's exactly what we're saying. Greg actually is asking, I noticed that a widget from the Silo plugin can only be put in once on one sidebar. This is one for you, Sue. Is there a technical reason for that, and can it be upgraded to allow it on multiple sidebars so that we can use different sidebars on different pages?
I haven't seen that.
I don't understand what he's
saying.
So
what he's talking about is this widget here. So when you install this, it comes with, oh yeah, I was going to show you that other thing too. It comes with, let me find it. Well, oh, I've already got it over here. That's why. Oh, you're right. If it's there, it's not going to be anywhere else. DWS Advanced Silo. Oh, isn't that peculiar? Let me write that down. We will fix that.
You can't put it into a different sidebar.
You can put it in only one sidebar. So if you've got a fancy theme with multiple sidebars, or if you've got a different sidebar on every page, then yeah, you need to be able to put it.
Yay! Greg gets the booby prize today. What do we give Greg for the bug of the day? Okay. All right. Sandra, of course, wants to meet Mike to learn how to make a six-figure site like his. Pass that one on. I'll hook those two up later. Let's see what we got here. Not all themes are made equal. What themes do you guys recommend to use with the Silo plugin? We have a list of recommended themes. They're not, I can't really say they're recommended themes, but they're themes that don't break when you use the plugin.
Right.
We are going to refine it so that we have themes. Like I personally have my own favorites. Sue has her own favorites. So we should drop them that link, Sue, to...
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how I dropped this other link. Hang on. And then there's the other thing that I want to show you guys. We went into questions and we never came back out. So put a maybe I'll do that while this is coming up. There we go. So if we're here, build my site, recommended list, copy that link location, and we will just drop it in here. That's those are all themes that we have checked out. Some of them are nicer themes than others, but they all work with. We actually didn't find any when we were trying to find a theme that wouldn't work. We couldn't find any, although I know that there are some out there. If there are some really fancy Flash themes, or if there are themes that really want to tightly control the menu, then they're not going to work. Like if it's got total custom weird menus. But But everything we tried, everything we could throw at it, we had good luck with. So, all right. And then there was the other thing that I wanted to show you guys.
Continue?
Hang on, not quite yet. All right, so here under consumer debt, sure. See, if I had content here, this would be more obvious. But this is what the menu looks like underneath. And this was created when I was here and I was here, and I said I wanted to use shortcodes. When I say I want to use shortcodes, it puts this shortcode in by default. If I edit this page, you will see the shortcode is right there. And what that does is it provides contextual links. So if I've got and then the other thing I want to show you is down here. The other thing that's relatively new in the DWS Silo Builder is you can now edit your titles, your meta title. You can edit the excerpt, the description that shows up, and you can edit your keywords. So when I update this, if I had view the page, if I had, it's funny how when it's like really big I can't see anything. Didn't I just put content in this page? Oh, here it is. Here, this is my content, blah, blah, blah. All right, so now you can see how this becomes more contextual. And if debt removal had an excerpt, it would show up right underneath that. And you can see now that I'm on consumer debt, the blog post that I put in, or now that I'm in debt removal, on the page debt removal, it's got the blog post that's in that category. Let me just come in here for a second and put in, and come down here and say, and update that bad boy. And then come back a couple of pages. If I come up one level, I'm on debt removal. So if I come back up here to consumer debt, then here under consumer debt, you can see, actually what you see is the content. Ah, the bug's in a new. Not excerpt. Anyway, that's the idea, is that this becomes contextual. And now you can see with this theme why we needed to be able to change the size of these texts, because they're just really huge now. So different themes are going to show those up in different ways. This is probably an H2 would be my bet, whereas this is just whatever the paragraph would be. All right. I'm ready for more questions.
Okay, I'm going to answer a question that's slightly off topic for looks like Stephen Brooks. Russell mentioned rather than theme technically, theme conceptually based on pain. There really shouldn't ultimately be a difference, Stephen, if you followed our stackable system beginning with the ISDNA, which is why if you've taken it, you realize that keywords and pains are ultimately the same thing. Okay, and he also asked, with ISDNA, is there still a place within an empire to use technical theming? What are some of the separating principles? Well, the separating principle would be whether or not you followed our exact ISDNA stackable system or not. People oftentimes will go for the keywords in the market that have the most total search market value and so on and so forth, which is great, but earlier we were talking about how you might change the menu, for example, the menu structure, for example, might have, like we talked about, relationship problems or whatever like that. And you add the word crazy, or if you add the word gay, it changes the concept entirely, right? Gay relationship problems is different than just relationship problems, isn't it? Narrows it right down. So it all depends. If you had stacked the system based on coming all the way up from the bottom up, you would already know that there's a ton of questions in gay relationship problems as a niche that you might not have in regular relationship problems as a general overview. As a result, this is why we give you Pain Finder. As a result, you still would drill into questions. This is why we have you use Pain Finder first. So there's no, I suppose that the separating principles would be whether or not you properly follow the instructions we've given you. Okay. So Painfinder is available to everyone. If you haven't got Painfinder, it really does do stuff so fast. Don't get too started on it. Like, I don't want her to start on it.
Oh my goodness gracious!
All right, stop.
So no, I have to get on my bandwagon for just a couple of minutes because I was researching last week.
I dropped a link that ends tomorrow.
I was researching. You can drop it. I was researching like 5 or 6 different markets last week, and I'm trying to think of which one it was. It was wine clubs. So one of our certified advisors has got a wine club domain that she's just been sitting on for years, right? And so I was like, I've had other clients that have wine sites, and so I was like, oh, that sounds like such a cool site. Like, that would be so much fun to do. So so I did the drill into wine clubs, and I went looking around at the FAQs, the questions and the answers. So, like, I actually went from these questions, the ones that were getting a lot of views, over into Quora to see what was going on. And I found out the horrors behind wine clubs, like what people don't like, and how, the people who can afford to join a wine club have enough sense not to do it. And how most wine companies are just looking to, or wineries or distributors are just looking to offload their cheap wine in a quick way. And just like what everybody's gripe was about wine clubs, it was fantastic. So I'm like, all right, so if you want to go down this path, you got to change how it is you're going to present this. Like, right here, you've got all of the pains behind wine clubs, and you can address those pains, and you can explain why the wine club that you're promoting is a completely different animal. So it was a revelation to me, just because, to me, I've never joined a wine club, and to me it always just seemed like a cool idea, because I'm kind of stuck on 1 or 2 different types of wines, and I just never get out and try much else. So it seemed like a really good idea at the time, but then the more I read about it, the more I was like, holy criminies, not only will I'll be very, personally, I would be very discriminating now about the wine club that I would choose, plus if I'm going to sell one, I can see all the types of things that aren't going to sell well, all of the sites that I could have put up, and they would have just sat there and never got any sales whatsoever. So that was why I found it so enlightening. Just, all right, soapbox off.
I told you not to get her started. So what I'm doing is normally this is part of our regular membership, a minimum of our basic membership, which I think is $49 a month. But for those of you who don't have a membership, you can actually get this independently for the next 72 hours, I think. So I'm just dropping that in there, and then we're merging it into the members area because it's kind of a pain to manage it separately. Okay, we've got a lot of questions. I just don't know. Why don't we take a few more?
Let me just back up for a minute. It's not merged into the members area. It'll be available at the $147 price point and
I'm
above.
sorry. See, yeah, that's how complicated it is. Why it's a pain, because I can't even remember like what you get with it. So the bottom line is this: after this countdown timer is done, we are putting it back into the membership level one. Actually, I should probably. Sorry, I wasn't prepared. I didn't want to pitch it all on this call. Bottom line is that Painfinder will only be a part of the advanced domain with studio level, which is 147.
Or above.
So you want to either grab it. Yeah, you either want to grab it independently at the $49 level right now, or just grab it completely separate from everything at the link I just dropped. Okay. All right. So, wow, I'm going to have to draw the line somewhere on this. Why don't we take Sue? Where are you at with your energy level? I know you had coffee.
I've still got coffee beside me, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. Well, then we could go on forever. I, however, would have to open either an herbal energy drink or something similar.
Let's take a couple more questions.
I mean, there's massive questions coming through. I mean, this is just completely overwhelming. So I'm going to, why don't you just grab them? Why don't you pick what you like?
Oh, no. Okay. Let me see where we were.
It's just too much.
Stephen, I think we covered Stephen's questions.
There's Mike trying to dominate the conversation again. Yeah, I'm not going to answer him.
Dan, I shot him my email address. We can talk offline. Okay. If I have larger silos, many supporting articles, and starting a blog from scratch, do I have to worry about the hierarchy or urgency of which content is added first. For example, this is a great question, should my category content go up before any supporting article content? And do I need to worry about the frequency in which the content is added directly after the silo has been imported? So you got two choices. If you're using Pro, obviously you can put your content right into Pro, but if you're going to post it right smack to the blog, then what you're going to want to do is start from your upper levels and go down. You don't have to do all your silos at the same time. Let me just see if I can find all pages, and we'll just look at it from this perspective for a moment. So in other words, you could start and just do your consumer debt silo, do the silo landing page first, and then do your pages underneath it. Or you can do all of your silo landing pages first, and then come back and start doing the content underneath. And you could do like a page or two underneath each silo and build it out that way. Just start at the top level and move down. That's the important bit, because if you have content here on debt removal and you don't have any content on consumer debt, then that's going to look really funky. Your consumer debt page is going to be blank, but it's going to have content pages underneath it. That's just not cool. Okay, what about using...
Yeah, there's, I'm going to go ahead and leave. Mike has left Sandra a message here, so I'm going to let her know that he said to tell her that his secrets to success of his 6-figure site is 5-hour energy drinks and being prepared to work your ass off. I would say that 5-hour energy drinks are not near enough, according to Sue and myself. And then once you get to yeah. So we just want to emphasize that I don't think his advice is even close. It represents, it makes it look a lot easier than this.
I had to hire my own barista personally.
Yeah, you need your own espresso maker and a person to run it. You need to go through this full hard knock.
Yeah.
We've saved you guys a lot of time. And again, I want to pause here. While Sue is while we're showing you guys the left brain stuff, the technical stuff, everything on that menu that she's got right there, I have a transparency that I already, by the time we're doing this stuff, this is what Stephen pulled up, by the time we're creating this incredible technically based, keyword-based silo structure, we already know what pains, questions, and idiosyncrasies individuals in a market have around those technical terms, okay?
I lost you, Russ.
I'm testing.
Oh, there you are.
Hello.
I can hear you now.
It's not the link to the. That's not the Painfinder link. That's not the Painfinder link that I'm sending them to.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah. Oh, you got them.
Yeah,
okay.
That's not. I've already sent everybody the Painfinder link on chat.
Okay, good.
And I don't know why some people are not getting it. I want to emphasize again, since I was cut off, because I don't want the communication to break down here, because it is the most important thing that I've learned in my business career. And I promise you guys it's the keys to the kingdom. If I just figure out a way outside of our 7-day certification, which it obviously gets communicated very well, to be able to communicate it to you guys. On Sue's screen is an incredibly technical infrastructure, which is the keys to the kingdom for ranking. It's keyword based. And even if you've used some of the most powerful keyword tools in the world like Kraken or Domain Web Studio, because we built those too, you've got all the right keywords. So you can cover your right eye and look at those technical things through your left. Okay, this is the neuroscience of, I got you, Joe. This is the neuroscience of the technical, all right? But what I'm really saying here is that before you guys even get to this phase, please let me know if I'm raising my voice too much. I'm very passionate about this because almost every question I answer is about what I'm about to tell you. Before you get to this phase of technical implementation, you should already have done your ISDNA, your innovation solution. You should have already gone through Painfinder and started listening to the conversation like a doctor listens to their patients in a market and know what the pain is, what's hurting people, what they care about. And you should have connected that to your product. Okay? Because if you don't do that, you can't write the cool menu call to actions This is the stuff that's above your slug. This is the stuff that's above your URL keywords. That's the technical part, you guys. By the time you get to this part, you should have already known the pain in your marketplace. Okay? Reggie, it's true for local marketing as well. Sue's got an entire course on local marketing. Don't get me started. Okay, if you join as a member at NetworkEmpire. Reggie, go to networkempire.com/members-area. Let me write that in there for you. And look at our free curriculum course, because then you'll see we've got a not expensive course that you get as part of your membership area on how Sue uses our last keyword tool for local marketing. But then we have a more expensive course called Local Leads Empire. It's $350. It's more. It's actually $500 for non-members, $300 something for members, I think.
Yep.
And that course is major, Reggie. If you want a massive call center for local marketing, we show you how to set it up. I mean, it's nuts. All right, so we have all that stuff. Yes, our technology is useful for everything. But what I'm trying to convey to you guys is that your pain and your invention, the thing that you're selling, Sue's showing you now, you got to cover that stuff first. The first 2 days of certification is covering your invention, your ISDNA. Otherwise, what happens is when you can build this incredible infrastructure, you can build, give you all the right connections for the keywords and even the best keywords on the planet. We wrote the technology to do that. But you've got to have the pain in the mind so that when you go back to write your proper menu items and your calls to action and your site-wide banners, that you actually are targeting the pain. Sue and I have even discovered that there's anywhere from 1 to 5 major pains in every industry. As long as you stick to those, you've nailed it. Okay. Hi, Yanni. I know that you got my email on the certification to be added to the Skype group where I mentor people on where Sue and I mentor people on really crazy stuff. Why don't you email us at talk to us at networkempire.com, or also go to themezoomcertification.com. I'll go ahead and drop you that link. Certification is not for beginners. We actually teach all this stuff in a live event. Actually, I'm going to send you to themezoom.com, and you can look at our certification areas. And I do apologize, Yanni. I'm not sure how you got on the private certification list. Not sure how you got on there. And so, let me know if you have any questions. All right, so guys, that's the main thing that I want to convey is what Sue has gone over here is very, very technical. This is all presuming that the pains and the keywords are nested inside the pains and the questions that you find out on the market. This all presumes that you have a pretty good idea of what the pains are in the market in the terms of the questions, okay? Awesome.
Craig's got an interesting question in that he's bringing in the idea of an e-commerce site. And I would say it depends on your e-commerce software. And normally e-commerce software sets up into categories pretty easily. And just because the whole nature of e-commerce is very categorized. And so you can turn those categories into blogs. And so it's decidedly possible to just have, set up another category in your e-commerce software, but to get into the specifics of that, I'd have to talk to you about your e-commerce and see what we can do with silos there, blah, blah, blah. So if you're looking to just rank better for anniversary cards and then push that traffic over to your e-commerce site, you can do that too. It's an either or. It's probably, I find if you don't have your call to action right there on the same page, whenever you send traffic, you're always going to have only a percentage of that traffic that follows your links. So, the more you can get the pages where your call to action is ranked, the more sales you're going to make.
Yep. And I think we should close with Sandra's question, and then that is enough for today.
All right.
You said that you don't want to have the drop-down menus throughout your site. How do you not have them throughout the site?
Oh, so you just make that other menu. What I was saying is, this is particular to this theme. This whole bar right here is particular to this theme. You can see this menu up here. It does not have the drop-downs in it at the moment. So this is the menu that I made. If I come back here to this menu, under Appearance, if I came here and I actually, in this menu that I created, if I grabbed something under consumer debt and add this to the menu, and then went up here and put it like that, that's going to create that whole drop-down effect. Now if I save this and come back here to this page and do a refresh, then, and I'm on consumer debt, so that's not helpful. Let me go home for a second. See, now this creates that drop-down. So just having that single dimension menu is going to inhibit that drop-down effect.
Yep, and there's two different aspects of drop-downs. There's the technical side, which Sue covers. We've seen all kinds of positive and negative effects. I would say mostly negative for SEO and drop-down menus. They have to be done right, and it depends on the platform and so on and so forth. I would also say that don't get me started on the neuroscience of drop-down menus. Yeah, just don't get me started. I mean, there's a place to use it, and there's a place not to. Generally speaking, where you can lay things out so that people see them on impact, you should, but it's not possible. Yeah, but it's not possible in really, really large sites. So where I'm at with drop-down menus currently, especially after the studies done by Dr. Glenn Livingston, who's one of my conversion mentors and other things, is that it's okay to do it in e-commerce sites when you're able to help people feel very specific. It's called just for you thematic. In other words, when in a drop-down menu, if it's like, if you have a category that's like rain gear and then it's kids rain gear, if a mom is hunting for kids rain gear, when they see that, it's really just for them at that point. So that's where drop-down menus are good, and this is tested like on really large platforms. But what you don't want to do is have everything, including the kitchen sink, and the drop-down menu hit all the way down to the bottom of the browser. It's useless. Like, people won't find what they're looking for in that way. So just, really think clearly about how your drop-down menus are using. Keep it simple for really, really large category breakdowns if you're on a really large site. But otherwise, just be careful. If you have questions on certain, look at the themes that we're revealing to you. And if you have a question, you can always drop it on the help desk. We try to help you guys. Specifically, if you're members, we do give some soft touch to these types of questions because, we're all working together on this. So that's kind of how you be careful with drop-down menus. Remember, a lot of the times they're designed to alienate the visitor. So just remember that before you do it. And also don't do light. Also don't get me started on this horrible light font that Sue has on these drop-down menus.
Oh,
She
yeah.
didn't get into design at all last night.
No.
Because this is not anything we're recommending. Understand that this design, we are purely technical today. It's almost like we're in an anatomy class, and there's a skeleton in the corner. Those kind they have that they're anatomist for anatomy class. Like
Wait,
I had when
we
I
pulled
did
out the
anatomy.
frog and the scalpel and we're dissecting it.
Yeah, and let me stick with my metaphor about learning anatomy, because I had to learn a full-on anatomy class in some of the stuff that I was doing when when I'm in Hawaii. We have a skeleton in the corner. The skeleton doesn't have the flesh, the design, the sexy clothing, or the pretty hair, does it? That's all missing from this. It's a skeleton, and that's why this is so technical. We're showing you the technical framework. It's called frameworking of how to set this stuff up. So on that note, things like that light gray font, that'll kill you. You always use dark font, I don't remember the font color code. Never use light gray font ever on any of your sites. I'm telling you right now. Livingston tested it. It creates low impact and a feeling of instability. So this is not a class on the neuroscience of design, okay? But I just want to let you guys know that that is part of what we teach as well. Sue and I will probably have a lot more of that up and coming. Yeah, don't use that sonder. Get rid of it. Just block it solid. And all right, you guys. So let's go ahead and close this up. We'll try to make this available to members. And I want to thank you so much for spending time during your busy day to come through to this. Certification students, live certification students who paid for our 7-day retreat-business revamp. Please contact me as soon as possible at Skype, on ThemeZoom. I'm adding you to a new group where you guys get the first release of everything that we do before it even goes out to the membership. I need you guys because you spent hundreds of hours training with us, and I have a couple of new things coming up, evil stuff that Sue's doing that I need to show you guys. Everybody else, you will also be on the list. Sue and I are going to do an interview on the new process map that's never before released, where I had to fight kicking and screaming to and I still didn't get my way on that. So Sue created the dashboard. Well, I mean, no. This is an amazing thing. We're going to be releasing this diagram, you guys, and I'm going to be showing you step by step, never before released, to the general members area on the exact process. Yep, this is it. Oh, geez. I mean, I tossed and turned. I lost sleep over this one. But we're going to give it to you guys because, you know what? Sue and I are enjoying a real experience of community with Network Empire. Even our basic members, we really care a lot about, and we have found that by giving back in this way, if you guys can understand, even if it takes you 6 months, and that's for you too, Sandra, of what's on this page, we're going to walk you through it. You're going to be masters, like masters of the universe.
Yeah.
When you combine the stuff with the ISDNA, the Pain Finder, all the what is the real pain in the marketplace with this skeleton framework that we're showing you, the technical framework. There is no, I promise you, you guys, there is no course on earth that covers all these factors. Does not exist. You're going to go to you can go to an SEO. You can go to our friend Bruce's SEO conference in California, and you can learn super hardcore technical SEO. None of this is covered. I mean, he's gotten more into what's called conversion persuasion optimization, and he's moving more in that direction as well. But honestly, none of that exists. There's no pain finder, there's no marketing, there's no branding, there's no social perpetuation, what we call the socially activated perpetual downstream traffic system, none of that. This is crazy, and here's the cool thing. It's containable. Sue's got it right here on an overview. We're going to walk you through it. As soon as I can corner her for this interview, we're going to send it out to you guys. I want each and every one of you to take the next 2 to 5 months to, even if you're a beginner, to learn what's on this stuff.
Yep. We might even do this video today, and we will definitely have it out, up and out by Friday. Yep. Well, Saturday. Yep.
I'm sending you a Starbucks card. So
all right.
Sure
Sounds good.
I'm sending you coffee today. So we can do this. All right, you guys. We'll talk to you, and we'll see you
Thanks,
all
everybody.
on the inside.